Hi, my name is Jelani Rainey, and I'll be redoing my national issue speech, Speech 1. Everybody knows the classic story of Robin Hood, the old childhood story that states the hooded thief steals from the rich and then he gives to the poor. Well, the thing about that story is that it's just that. It's a story. Because if it wasn't, then I wouldn't be here talking to you today. Did you know that according to Forbes 2012, the top 1% of our nation owns 40% of the total nation's wealth? Now, one of the main issues in today's nation is the continual growth between the gap between the rich of our nation and the poor. Now, there are many contributing factors to this, such as obvious ones, such as income differences, and then subtle effects such as technology, but all of them have similar effects, including some such as the education that our children receive. Now, I know you're wondering, where does this play, where does this come in, and how do we solve these? So I'll start from the top, with the more obvious reason of why this gap has continued to grow, which is the income differences. This is an obvious one because you see it in everyday life. It's one where you can see, you go walk outside, you can see the difference in transportation. Someone driving a $150,000 car, or just someone that got a new car worth about $1,500. Now, there's just a difference in lifestyles. But what's the difference? How has it changed over time? Well, Lubsdorff said that the overall income rose 4% in our nation. Now, that's a good thing. But from the 2010 survey, that he also stated that the median fell 5%. Those that don't know the median is the middle number of a group of numbers. Now, he also said that the median fell for every bracket except for that of the top 10%. Now, I know you're thinking, okay, this is something that we are concerned with, but how has this really changed over time? Hasn't always been this way? Well, Yahoo News stated that the richest 10% are earning now 9.6 times the amount of everyone else in the country. That's significant considering that they also said in the 1980s they were making only 7.1 times. Now, that's the more obvious reason as to why the gaps continue to get wide. Let's look at a more subtle reason that you may not have thought was one at all, because you see it in everyday life and you see it as a benefit, whether it's helping raise buildings or even just helping you see. And that is technology. Now, Emma Daly stated that technology has taken on the role of a double-edged sword for human rights. Now, if you're wondering what that is, it's kind of saying, we continue to see technology rise. Technology will always rise. But if you're not able to take a part in that rise, then you'll simply be left behind. Now, a study done at Santa Clara University said that there are 4 conditions which help you acquire access to this information. That is, knowing that the software is out there, knowing how to operate it, knowing how to connect it to the outside world, and most importantly, owning it and having access to it yourself. Now, that's a huge deal if you can't access it. Those with low-income areas aren't allowed to access it. Now, you're wondering, what does this affect? Technology has huge effects in today's world, in which is that again, it helps build buildings, it helps careers, it helps in every aspect. But more importantly, technology plays a role in the education of our own children. And you're wondering, how is this happening? It's easy to say those of a high income area will have accessibility to, more technology. They'll get the newest, latest, and greatest, the iPhone 6, 7, whatever it was. Those in a low income area, they won't be able to afford it, and their community may not be able to provide them access with it. Now, when Bruce Drake was asked if this is a problem, he said the answer is brief. He said yes. The achievement gap from high and low income areas and families is roughly 30 to 40% larger among children born in 2001 than it was amongst those children that were born 25 years before them. That's huge, because technology has continued to grow, so why is it that not everyone else is allowed to grow with it? Guys, we have to understand that if we're going to continue to grow as a world, we can't leave people behind. We have to grow everyone with this. Now, with this being said, as you know, one of the main reasons that our nation is suffering is this continual growth in this gap. There's many things that attribute to this factor, such as, like I said, income, which is an obvious one, and subtle ones such as technology. But again, they have the same effects in stating that it has the effect of children in your community. But I know it is also impossible to give what the rich have to the poor. But if you continue to start today and we continue to give back, and we take step by step to help those in need, then maybe then at some point there will be no need for Robin Hood after all. Thank you.